Our guest tonight is Wrestle Circus Ringmaster Champion Brian Cage. How you doing?
I'm all right. Had a hell of a travel schedule. I'm so happy to be home.
Yeah, finally, right? That's how it always seems. You never seem to be home in time for the things you want to be home for. Well, listen, you're gonna be back on the road soon on November 18th at Wrestle Circus Rise of the Machine. You square off against Keithley for your Ringmaster Championship. What are your thoughts on Keithley, and what can fans expect from this matchup?
I literally just had talked with Keithley at Frozen Gorilla. I'm like, I'm surprised we haven't worked at Wrestle Circus yet. I was like, I know. And then, I think the next day, it was announced that we're working. I'm like, God, coincidence. Keithley is great, man. I remember the first time I worked him for Rudy out in San Antonio. I didn't know who he was, and I saw the picture of the flyer. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? And my first thought too, he's being a bigger guy, get booked against local heavyweights all the time. And unfortunately, most heavyweights that look like myself or even Keithley, just come right down to it. Your shoes aren't very good. So I'm like, I got to work some heavy ass dude. It's going to suck and not do anything. I got to break my back, freaking pick his ass up and whatever and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, great. He was pretty good. Go out there, have the match with him. Kill it. I worked with Samoa Joe the month before, and we had an amazing match, but to put in perspective, my match with Keithley, I like 10 times more than I matched with Samoa Joe. And right away, I'm like, dude, you got to get out there. You're awesome. So, kind of long story short, just back around to it, I'm very, very excited for this match because Wrestle Circus is one of my favorite places to work, amazing crowd, and to be able to go out there with Keithley, I think will turn out something special.
Well, it's clear that Wrestle Circus has a lot of faith in you after they named this month's show after you, Rise of the Machine. How does Wrestle Circus stack up against some of the other companies you've worked for? And how long do you plan on holding the Ringmaster Championship?
I mean, there's a lot of good companies right now. That's what makes it, wrestling so hot. Like, WWE's not going anywhere, but it's like everywhere else outside of them is on the rise. Whether it's another major companies like Ring of Honor, New Japan, and such, but even all the indies, stateside, Euro side, all over the place. I mean, I just worked this amazing show in Peru last night. It's just nuts how overwhelmingly popular indie wrestling is right now. But I would still put Wrestle Circus, up in my top three for sure. I mean, not only because just how awesome the fans are, just the show itself, but the overall backstage appeal and treatment and everything goes into the show that the fans think it's going to be part of. Just from top to bottom, Wrestle Circus is top notch. I've called them the Lucha Underground of the independents just because they're so much fun to work.
Mike, here, next question.
Well, you touched on it a little bit before, but you and Keithley seem to have a lot of similarities in the ring since you're both big, incredibly strong, but you're capable of pulling off these feats of athleticism that fans might not necessarily expect from guys that are your size. So what are some of the challenges and also the positives that come along with facing someone who wrestles a somewhat similar style to you like Keithley does?
Absolutely zero challenge. It's nothing but makes for amazing moments and one-of-a-kind matchups. So zero downfall, zero negative at all.
Brandon Gavin, next question.
Your match at Circus Mania against Shane Strickland was awesome and stole the show from me. However, the undercard was very strong too. What is it like waiting until the main event to finally go out to perform, especially when trying to top what everyone already did earlier in the show?
That can be a big challenge. Because the cards are never, they're never whacked. Not you ever have a crap match on there. And they can go pretty long. So that time too, even the crowd's still on fire, they're just drained. You're just tired. So it does make it more challenging. But to be given that position and to be able to deliver, it's always an incredible feeling. I thought this last crowd at Circus Mania was maybe one of the best crowds from top to bottom as far as energy levels. And we had them right there, I thought, at the main, just as much as the opening card did. Yeah, it does make it more challenging, to get that crowd involvement. Obviously, you always come back a little bit more for the main once you know you and you have something in place. I thought it was easier for Shane and I because it's really probably one of the only matches in Wrestle Circus history that somewhat had a program built into it. Just because Shane hasn't been there for a few months, and I kept on making little shots at him, second me not being there. So it kind of had a little story and program, and as well how he won the title by catching him with the briefcase. So there's somewhat of an angle going into the match, which gave it a little more hype rather than just a super card or super indie match, which is generally what usually takes place. So I think that's one thing that Circus is missing that I'd like to see incorporate more is a little more feuds and angles built into their awesome cards and awesome matchups.
Well, you've been a big part of what Lucha Underground has been over the last couple of years. Lucha Underground recently announced a 4th season will be produced. Do you think you're going to be part of the next season? And if you are, what are your expectations following such a successful 3rd season for yourself?
Yeah, I would definitely think that I'd be part of the next season. Where we left off, we'll see what happens. It's been a while since we taped, so I don't know how things will change. But, I hope that everything works out according to plan. I get to do a nice little program with Mill and Sam Callahan and Cuerno for the Gauntlet, and hopefully get my my opportunity at the title again and come home with it.
Mike Chiari?
For me, one of the most interesting storylines in Season 3 of Lucha Underground involved you and the Gauntlet. What did you think when that idea was first pitched to you? How do you think it came across on TV, and how did you enjoy being a part of that?
The first thing I thought of when it was pitched to me, like when I saw the imagery of it, was I'm a huge Army of Darkness fan. So I instantly thought of the metal hand, the Ash makes himself an Army of Darkness. And this is actually the very first thing I did when I put the Gauntlet on. I grabbed the cup and I broke it into pieces and said groovy. But outside of that, I thought it was great. I thought it was interesting. I was really do a lot of the backstage scenes. I hadn't got to do that many up till that point. And I thought that was one of the real cool appeals of Lucha Underground. I know they had a couple of extra ideas that we needed to do. That was a little bit of a bummer. But no, I loved it. And, it worked out well with the Avengers queue. It was kind of like the Insanity Gauntlet of Lucha Underground, and I didn't really know where it was going, and I don't know what the end result's going to be with they have the limo having it and trying to get control of one of us, the hosting body for the gods, and Cuerno came and stole it, and Mel wants it, and Jeremiah wants it, and Katrina's mom wants it, and I want it, and so there's so many variables. I'm not really sure where it's going to go, but I'm excited about it. Hopefully, like I said, it'll all continue as we had originally planned for season 4.
Brendan Galvin?
Besides training in the ring or in the gym, what else do you do to prepare for your matches? Do you watch your own matches back, or is there something that you do to clear your mind heading into a match?
Yeah, I watch my own matches quite often. Depending on who I'm going to work, sometimes I'll watch their matches too, just to get an idea of some stuff I'd want to do. Generally, like 90% of what I watch is when I do cardio. I'll just save a bunch of videos and I'll watch that to kill time because I absolutely hate doing cardio. But yeah, watching my matches back or an opponent matches back helps kill that and gets me into it, and you will usually help psych me up for the match. Another thing too, when someone writes me excited to work me, like I'm looking forward to being able to work me, that always gets me super hyped up and really excited for the matches, because to know that your opponent's like, oh man, I can't wait to work you. Like it just, I have that feeling for certain people, and I remember having that feeling too all the time when I was first coming up in the business. So that kind of gets me excited to kind of fill that pair of shoes for them.
Mike Chiari?
Having previously been in WWE developmental and having all the tools WWE would look for in a top-tier talent, you obviously seem like an ideal fit for the company. And with WWE bringing so much talent from the independent scene, has there been any contact between you and the company? And is there any interest on your part in going back there at some point, or are you just happy with your current situation?
there's been zero contact between them and I. They obviously know who I am. They were giving me a runaround for like 18 months about bringing me in for a tryout, and then finally when they did, like they'd be like, okay, we'll bring you in. Then they, oh wait, you know, the next one. Oh, the next one, the next one, the next one. Finally, no paperwork. Okay, you're for sure good for this one. Then I called them back the very next day. I told them, never mind, I don't want to do it. And then I was dealing with TNA and Lucha Underground at the time too. And I just, I don't know, I just woke up and was like, you know what, fuck this, I don't want to do it. So it was kind of good to tell them no. There was a story when I got released, and that's a long story too, if I got released, not the BS deal, but like 6 months afterwards, or 8 months, whatever it was, I got re-signed, and then my contract got rescinded. And then I kind of went back and forth with them about it. And then Johnny Ace brought me down to talk to me at a show, and they basically were going to, go back to bringing me in. Then it was close to WrestleMania. And we kept talking to me, and WrestleMania, he said, okay, we'll get through Mania, then we'll bring you in. And then I was waiting for the call, and I texted him a few times, and I don't know where he texted me. And he goes, you know what? We're just no longer interested. And I go, what? What do you mean? What happened? I'm like, you're calling me, you respond to me, you haven't come down to a live event, you bring me to your office. Like, why would you waste, both our times? Just to be like, oh, never mind. Then he goes, well, let's face it, kid. You're average at best. And we're no longer interested at this time. So I said, oh, okay, well, let's really face it. I think you and I both know I'm better than average, but I appreciate you responding. I was like, maybe we'll work again in the future. I wanted to see something more on that, but I kept it politically correct. But fast forward to that trial, when I called them back the next day, that's when I didn't want to do it anymore. And they were like so blown away. Like, wait, what? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? I go, I'm just no longer interested right now. So maybe another time. So it felt kind of good to have it come full circle. And then to completely answer your question, I'm not opposed to ever going back there. It would have to be, just right time, right situation, all of that. But if I do never go back, I'm more than happy. Like it wasn't until now that I thought I'd feel that it feels like how I thought it would feel like as a kid to be a pro wrestler. So I'm the most happy and content with my career that I've ever been. So do I need to go back there? No, not at all. Am I against going back there? If stuff lines up accordingly planned, then no, I'm not opposed to going back.
There are a lot of fucking words I'd use to describe you and your style, but average ain't one of them. Average ain't even close to one of them. Yeah, right? But whatever. We'll fucking pretend. That's fun. BG, final question, BG?
Yeah, you're one of our favorites. Last week, ESPN aired the 30 for 30 on Ric Flair, and I was just curious who would be on your Mount Rushmore of all-time wrestlers.
That's tough because you have the people of today, legends of yesterday, just the guys that I hold high dear. I'm gonna just make it easier. Current superstars of like right now, they're still active today. And those make it easier, but I definitely got AJ Styles up there. I'm just going pure on talent base, not on superstardom. Tyson Kidd, even though I guess his days in the ring may be numbered, that's one of my all-time favorite guys ever, and it's a shame he never got a proper push. And then I'll go Ricochet, and it'd be toss-up between Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes.
Part of me wanted you to say yourself so bad. I was like, please just go all out, go full swag on it, and just be like, Brian fucking Cage.
No, I assume, going to business for myself.
Yeah, I assume that after all four heads are there, you just come crashing through the fucking mountain and just you standing atop it.
Yeah.
Someone's got to have modesty. Surely this shit won't be me. Well, there's a huge thanks to our guest tonight, Brian Cage. Catch him stealing the show at Wrestle Circus Rise of the Machine on November 18th. Available for free on Twitch TV/Wrestle Circus. Tell the fans where else they can support you on social media.
You can check me out on Twitter, Mr. GMSI _B Cage. I know it's kind of a shitty name, but deal with it. Brian Cage on Instagram and ProWrestlingTees.com/Brian Cage. Get all your merch.
Fantastic. And another huge thank you to Brian Cage. Good luck moving forward, sir.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.